Mishawaka is home.
This is a little piece of paradise. It's contagious. This place is in my blood now.
It's a national treasure. This is church for me. To become what it is today, Mishawaka needed to go through the light and the dark.
It was 1916 when musician Walter S. Thompson rode his motorcycle into the pristine and remote Poudre Canyon west of Fort Collins, Colorado. Walter was so moved by the area, he set out to unite his love for music and community with the inspiration and grandeur he found in the idyllic canyon. Named after his hometown in Indiana, Walter built Mishawaka.
Like, look at some of those old pictures and stuff like that, you know, you can just, he built this beautiful big lodge, and obviously it's a place where a lot of people can gather. So he had that idea.
He built roads, cabins, summer rentals, and a general store. Being an avid musician, he built a rustic old dance hall where his family would play music together nearly every night. To this day, music still echoes out of that old dance hall Walter built and continues to bring people together just as he envisioned. But it wasn't always this way.
As a little girl, I remember coming and just having a great time fishing and sleeping in this cabin in kind of a rustic atmosphere and going to the dance that night. It was wonderful. And then as the years went by, it changed.
When Walter retired, the Mishawaka went through quite a few owners, until the 1970s when it settled into the capable hands of Jimmy Core. Core had big plans for Mishawaka. Whereas Walter had sustained his music scene inside, Jimmy Core turned the Mish into a major music destination by building an outdoor stage along the river, and the Mishawaka Amphitheater was born. After Jimmy Core moved on, the bands and crowds grew even larger. However, the Mish found the dark side of that success.
Mishawaka got everything that it wanted in terms of success on that level of music and that level of business. You know, the amount of people coming up here. It's a two-edged sword there. The youth, the drugs, the alcohol, 20 years of it just getting crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier.
It had become a negative influence in the community. Less of a place you'd want to take your family.
But I'm sure there was a lot of people that just would have been happy that the Forest Service bought it, bulldozed it over, basically turned it into a parking lot. Because that's exactly what they were going to do with it.
In 2010, the music and mayhem was silenced, and the Mish was shut down.
Like a thief, change can come.
When we acquired Mishawaka in 2010, it had a shred of love left in people's hearts, but generally it was a dump. It was me and the dark Mish. Like, what are you doing? This place is dirty and it's drugs and it's sex. And I said, no, it's not.
Over the years, I've seen people come that said they were going to change things, and if there was a change, it was for the worst instead of the better.
Yeah, I mean, we had to not only start from the basic clean, repair, electrical work, fix doors, broken windows, then we also had to repair the hearts and minds.
The physical aspect of rebuilding this place is nothing. The reputation aspect of rebuilding is completely different. You have to really get it into the mindset of the people that don't come up here anymore, because you want them to start coming up here. You want them to feel free to bring their families up here again.
I think when she first came and really tried to involve the community, that was step one.
I mean, my vision for Mishawaka is that that thread of music and community will continue to be in everything that we do.
Each time I came, I could see change.
The place was doing well, the energy was fine, the place smelled good, the place looked good. You know, we were on a roll.
The kitchen was running well, the food was great, the menu was set up. People were starting to recognize when they came up to the Mish, they're gonna have a great experience. I'm sitting in the office working away and the phone rings, it's reverse 911, evacuate.
It all came to a standstill.
Every day you'd hear that the place burned down. The next day you'd hear that it was still there. That was one of the worst months of my life.
We would just spend hours looking at computer screens, watching, you know, the map that has Mishawaka actually pinpointed like a city. And the fire line blows right over and past the Mishawaka. And, you know, I look at my phone, it says, I think the Mish is gone, and it's from a reporter. There were homeowners who were much more in need of information than I was. It didn't seem very fair for me to be asking about the Mishawaka.
I had a house here, 7 miles down the road. I didn't really care about that. I was more concerned about Mishawaka. I was really, really concerned about Mishawaka.
We got a call that said, we're gonna let you guys head up to the Mish. You know, we're all like, woo, here we go. We're heading back up to the Mish, but then all of a sudden creeps up that you really aren't quite sure what you're gonna see when you get up here. It looks like a war zone. There's still smoke rising from the hillside and from behind the cabins, you know? It's the eeriest thing. And then we drove up and it was still standing. It was all there. It took 4 days of their vigilant efforts to keep the flames away. When I finally got into the kitchen where the employees were, they handed me a letter that had just been sitting on the bar. And they said, you better read this. And it's from the guys who were protecting the Mish. The firefighters left me a note. And at the end of the letter, he just wrote, long live the Mish. It was a moment where everyone dropped the crap about the reputation. People said, oh yeah, I loved this place.
And when we come back up after the fire, we got to really focus on where we wanted this place to be and how we wanted this place to operate. And that's really when we hit our stride.
You and I, we press our bodies.
We were thriving on many levels that I hadn't even expected. The weddings that were taking place here, and you know, the symphony was up here. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, it's 100 years old. There's lots of history here. Some of it good, some of it not so good, but we can't take a big eraser and erase history.
I think that at its 100-year mark, Mishawaka is back to that dream that Walter had in the beginning on a vastly bigger scale.
At 100 years, we have come full circle. We're back right where Walter thought we should be.
Roll up to the shore, heads held high and muscles strong. And I got a feeling we don't belong.